Hello and welcome to Business Talk, brought to you by the Sharonville Chamber of Commerce. I'm Britt Scarce with Emory Federal Credit Union. I'm your host, and today here in studio we have Sergeant Ryan Hermes with the Sharonville Police Department here to talk to us about the Sharonville Christmas Fund. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about what the Sharonville Christmas Fund is.
Well, the Sharonville Christmas Fund is a nonprofit 501c3 organization hosted here in the city of Sharonville. It's independent from the city of Sharonville, but it works hand in hand with the city of Sharonville. Board members are some of the city residents, along with a member, myself, from the police department, an official from the fire department, the city nurse, and a member from the city tax department. Okay. All on a team together to see what we can do to try to help out.
Okay. And what kind of services does the organization provide to the community?
Well, actually, our mission statement pretty much sums it up the best. It's the intent of the organization to collect monies and see where we can put that money best to use here directly in the city of Sharonville. We administer the distribution of funds for emergency type short-term needs efficiently and economically as possible. It's a day-to-day need-based system until hopefully we can make some referrals to larger, more permanent full-time organizations and resources.
Okay, so does this provide like food and maybe assistance with turning heat on and things of that nature that might really, somebody could just find themselves in a really tough spot and they just need something to kind of get them through to the next month, that kind of thing?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. We'll do short-term needs like heating and electric bills for those that have an emergency that pops up. Perhaps a loved one ends up having critical medical issues and decisions have to be made. If I can, I'll actually read one of the reviews that we had in regards to a member that we were able to help out. I won't use anybody's name.
Sure.
But it's a good story as to what we aim to try to accomplish.
Okay.
My husband has medical conditions that is often keeping him from work and in the hospital. They have 2 children, also with medical conditions. Our family's medical bills, along with the mandatory living expenses of rent and utilities, take all the money we have every month. Before the Christmas Fund came with a mobile pantry, which we'll talk about here in a few moments, we were struggling to find food for our children to eat, and often my husband and I would have nothing. The mobile pantry and the Christmas Fund has changed all of that. So we'll go out and we'll try to do as much as we can for short-term emergency needs. A mobile pantry, we actually have a 24/7 access to a pantry, members of our group do, for people who might need something in an emergency. There's walk-in hours to have contact for our pantry. Okay. And then, we'll cover some very short-term emergency bills. Another thing that we do is, in cases of emergency, our hotel stays. Okay. Somebody who finds themselves unable to afford a stay that might be stuck in the area. Me with the police department, I can give you a personal experience. I found a mom and 3 of her kids who were traveling from out of town through the city. They stopped off. They were on their way to her father's house for their own reasons. However, it was cold. It was actually pretty close to freezing that night. They weren't able to stay at the hotel, and the Sharonville Christmas Fund was able to step in, and rather those kids sleeping in a station wagon that night, we were able to get them a hotel room for the evening.
Yeah, well, and obviously not only is that just bitterly cold, to try to sleep in a car, but it's also dangerous.
Absolutely.
So that's a huge blessing to them. Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit about the mobile unit.
Yep. So the mobile pantry does work with the Free Store Food Bank.
Oh, okay.
Yep, the mobile pantry is from the Free Store Food Bank working with the Sharonville Christmas Fund. We have started that program in 2018, and the last 9 months of 2018 we moved over 35 tons of food.
Wow.
Yep. We helped close to 3,000 family members. Most of them were actually on the registration children. So, and another takeaway is this isn't just a city of Sharonville problem as a whole. Hamilton County, according to Hamilton County Department of Health statistics, 24% of Hamilton County children are actually living in poverty.
Wow.
So this is, the Sharonville Christmas Fund is just a response for Sharonville residents and people of our community directly impacted by things like poverty, food insecurity, hunger.
Yeah, and I think you know, a lot of people day to day, we just kind of live in our bubble, and you know, we go to and from work, and we go to the store when we need food, and we stop and get something to eat whenever we're hungry, and we don't realize how many people around us are, like you said, they have food insecurity, or you know, or literally just sleeping in their car and that sort of thing. So it's a tremendous thing to have a fund like this to be able to step in and fill a need when necessary.
Yeah. And as for our walk-ins, it's not just our pantries that we do every other Wednesday in one location or the other. The walk-ins that we have, in 2018 we assisted over 587 walk-ins, which we are allowed to use the City of Sharonville's Fire Department as our headquarters also.
Okay.
So people who walk in during the normal business hours for our pantry are able to not only seek the emergency food needs that they might have. We also, like I said, a member of our team is the city nurse. So they might have questions, and we can also give them referrals to more long-term needs, whether that's Hamilton County Jobs and Family Services or larger organizations. So we're just kind of a stepping stone on the way to help people in an emergency basis on a particular date and time to get them further help down the road.
Yeah. Now, do they provide, do you also provide clothing and that sort of thing, or are you work in conjunction with some other charities that might help with that?
We do have referrals to other charities for clothing. We sometimes, depending on the donations, which are important, we do live and thrive off of the donations and monies that we receive from community partners throughout the city of Sharonville and the general area, actually, not just inside the city of Sharonville. We do have, based on donations, sometimes additional things to help with the kids, some emergency, or I'm sorry, to help with the kids. Some of those would be the toddler things, baby wipes, diapers, things like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do have enough of that, but we will
That stuff's
refer
expensive.
stuff out.
I mean, and when you're struggling financially, I mean, to be able to buy you know, those items, it's tough. It's tough on people. I mean, I think some folks maybe have, you know, it's been years since their kids were little, and they forget how expensive formula and you know, and diapers and all that stuff is.
Absolutely. We also reach out with some of the other charity groups that we have, some of the churches, local churches in town. We work hand in hand with other programs to try to everybody helps everybody, which is great. We work with some of the local churches to do student snack programs, whether that's we're supplying them with stuff or we're helping to distribute or anything that we can do. There's after-school lunches, weekend lunches, and summer lunch packs that we are also participating with. With this being the holidays, we hosted 66 families for Thanksgiving. Wow. And for Christmas, hence our namesake is the Sharonville Christmas Fund. We started off in 1967 with just a little bit over $100 donation. Not we, I wasn't even around yet, but they, and everybody that's been a part has been amazing over the years. They started off that program to help out people during the Christmas, and it has evolved since 1967. Yeah. Today we host, and we'll be hosting next week, 50 families for Christmas. Wow. And an additional 66 students through the school system, and I can't remember, I think out of the 50 families, I believe it's almost 270 individuals. Wow. Based off of community partnerships and donations. Man, that's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about the fact that it is not, even though Christmas is in your name, correct, you're actually a year-round charity. I mean, you actually help people year-round. It's not just at Christmas time. That's correct. We are, if it's a need that is seen, whether it's from the police department, the fire department, or some of the residents that bring it to the attention of some of the residential board members on our group, the Christmas Fund is actually a 365 program. We can help out in any emergency situation to the best of our abilities, or give the referrals to where they need to go for a better. So the contacts that people can make for inquiries during normal business hours would be at the Sharonville Fire Department.
Okay.
They, again, allow us to house our program through them with our pantry. And
So
our
they would
nursing
call the
program.
fire department if they want to make a donation?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And is there also a Facebook page under Sharonville Christmas Fund?
Yep,
Okay.
we've started up a Sharonville Christmas Fund Facebook page just recently.
Is there a way to make a donation from Facebook?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, and we actually have that program set up through Facebook as well.
Okay.
There's a couple other easy ways to make donations. Your Kroger Plus card,
Okay.
we've got a connection through them. If anybody is interested in switching over their Kroger Plus card points to the Sharonville Christmas Fund, or they can just reach out directly to any of our representatives. I'm at the police department. Again, Ben is at the fire department. And we've got members that can be contacted through the Facebook program as well.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Yeah. Man, it's doing an awful lot of good in the community. I mean, you know, and you guys at the police department are, of course, you know, you're on the front lines every day, every night, and you're seeing the need firsthand, and it's great to have something to draw on to be able to help somebody in that, you know, in that time of need.
It is a good feeling to be able to help out. A lot of the times you will see the impact directly that a program like this can make, especially at mobile pantries when, like the testimonial that I read, that those folks were trying to decide whether or not it was going to be medicinal payments for medicine,
Right.
or whether or not mom and dad were going to eat because they were going to take care of their kids first. Unfortunately, and again, that's not just the city of Sharonville, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And not all of the people that come to our mobile pantries, they don't have to be City of Sharonville residents or anything like that. That's part of the agreement with Free Store Food Bank, that it is open to the public. These are just two of the mobile pantry locations that we house. Us being a City of Sharonville program, they're housed and operating inside the City of Sharonville.
Oh, fantastic.
It's open to the public from anywhere outside of City of Sharonville.
Wow, great information, great cause. Our guest has been Sergeant Ryan Hermes with the Sharonville Police Department, and he's been here talking to us about all the great opportunities to help folks in the community with the Sharonville Christmas Fund. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time, right here on Business Talk.